So we're just going to start in a nice strong standing posture. Let me just adjust that camera a little bit so we're not wonky. Okay. Nice strong standing posture, grounded through the feet. And we're just going to shift side to side, mobilizing through the feet and exaggerating that movement by lifting up through the outside of the foot as we shift side to side. Really nice mobility through the feet and ankles, just that nice subtle shift through the knees and hips. And from there, we're just going to take it forward and back. And such a, when you do this consistently, it feels super simple, super easy, but you'd be surprised at how many people find this quite challenging to rock back and forth and keep that balance and stability. Okay, so a really important movement, and we're going to take it up onto the toes. As we take it up onto the toes, we notice the connection of the toes and the balls of the feet to the ground, and we're pressing down through that big toe so we can find that sweet spot at the top. So if we wanted to, we could hold it, and it would feel fairly low effort. We're activating through the undersides of the feet, up into the calves. So funny, after the conversation about the crazy manic dog, she's fast asleep. She must love the Pilates class. Okay, grounded now. We're just going to take a narrow stance. We're going to glide the hands down to the knees, and we're going to just roll through the knees, nice big full circles. As you do it, I want you to notice the shift through the feet, okay? And we want to keep them as grounded as possible, but we want that nice mobility through the feet as well. So the ability to shift without having to really exaggerate the lift of the foot. So again, the focus is on the knees, that lovely movement through the ankles and the feet as well. And we're going to change direction. Super simple exercise, lovely to warm everything up. It's great to do in the morning, when you wake up. Really nourishing for the knees. Okay, now we bring ourselves up into a standing position, okay? So the first thing we're going to do now, this is going to kind of progress and a sequence of exercises. The first thing we're going to do is single leg stance, okay? And we're just going to drive one knee forward and then just step it back, but just so we're loading through that front leg, and this is just toes are down behind us. We're going to drive the knee forward. And you can see I'm working at a pace that's fairly energetic to bring that knee up. Okay, so a nice energized movement as we drive the knee forward. And again, being able to drive it forward, hold and stabilize in the single leg stance. You will feel it in the supporting leg, because that's the leg that we're loading on. Okay, that's our single base of support in connection to the ground. We're going to do once more, and then we're going to switch to the other side. Okay, so we're going to drive the knee up and place the foot behind us and rest those toes down. Okay, so it's a nice energetic movement. We shouldn't feel like we're getting any pinching, any impingement through the hip. So if you need to slow the pace down for that reason, that's okay. Remember, it's about how the movement feels to you. We're driving the knee up, stepping it back, driving the knee up. If you want to hold for a few seconds up there, that's great. Drive the knee up. Nice and engaged through the core. Once more. And we relax that down. We're going to widen the stance, so nice and wide, and we're just going to initially just dip through the hips. So we're whittling the hips, the upper body remains still, and it's that dip through one side and then the other. So hands on the hips allow us some feedback to make sure that the movement is coming through those hips. And then we're going to create a full circle. So side, open forward, side, scoop it round. And this is great just to create any release through the hip joint itself. It's that ball and socket. Really good if we're carrying any tension through the adductors, which are the inner thighs. Yeah, and they connect up into the pelvic floor, which is part of our core stabilization system. Okay, so everything's connected. And then we're going to change direction. Side, scoop it round, side, open forward. Side, scoop it round, side, open forward. Once more. And then we're going to bring that back to a narrow stance. Okay, this time, single leg stance again. We're going to drive the knee forward. We're going to step it back. And we want to step it back further, so we've got a wider stance, and we're lowering that back heel down. So we drive the knee up into that step back. You can see my heels down. I'm going to scoop the tailbone under so I'm nice and tall. Okay, grounded through the front foot. We drive up. Nice big step back, grounding through the back foot. Scoop the tailbone under. Okay, so every repetition we do, I want you to think about those things, those key points. Ground the back foot, scoop the tailbone under, ground the front foot. We drive up, nice and tall, lengthened. We step it back, heel down, scoop under, ground the front foot. We drive it up. We step it down, scoop under, ground the front foot. Once more. Scoop under, ground the front foot. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Okay. Roll it up. Nice wide stance. So we're staggering the stance. Back heel grounded, scoop the tailbone under, round through the front foot. Drive it forward. Okay, step, nice big step back. Ground the foot, scoop the tailbone under, ground the front foot. Up we come. You might find it feels different on one side compared to the other. I know that this side feels a little bit more challenging from a balance perspective. Scoop under, lengthen, and it almost feels a little bit less natural to do this sequence of movements on this side. Okay, scoop under. Drive forward, ground the back foot, scoop the pelvis under, ground the front. Once more, go. Ground the back foot, scoop the tailbone under, ground the front foot. We bring it back into the narrow stance, and then from there, feet shoulder width apart, so nice neutral foot position. We're going to either hold the hands behind the back or clasp the fingers and hands behind the back. Okay, we're not forcing the shoulder blades back, but we're allowing that position to optimize the position of the shoulders. Okay, and then we're going to take a bow. So we're tipping through the hips and then we're drawing it back up. As we do this, we're going to try not to sit the bottom back. Okay, we remember the tripod of the foot. base of the big toe, base of the little toe, and the heel. And we try and keep evenly balanced over that so the tip comes through the hips. Okay, so we're taking that down. You can see from the video I've got a slight bend through the knees. That's okay. It's actually quite a good thing to just have that slight bend without locking the knees out. Okay. So the next exercise is going to work on strength and stability. So similar to what we've just done, but a minor adjustment. We're going to drive the knee forward, step the foot back, but this time we're not flattening the back foot, we're on the toes. We're going to scoop the tailbone under and we're going to lower the back knee down towards the ground. It doesn't touch the ground, or if it does, it just lightly touches it, and then we drive it back up. We step it back. Scoop the tailbone under, back knee down. Use the hands in whatever way you want to create optimal movement through the rest of the body. Okay, so use the hands to position them where you're going to support the movement. So drive forward, you step it back, you lower the back knee, and we'll drive it up. Okay, so range of movement is it under your control. So if you don't want to create a huge range of movement, that's okay. If you just want to practice that drive up, that's okay. Amazing. Okay, we'll switch to the other side now. Okay, drive the knee forward, step it back so we're on our toes, wide enough that we can lower the back knee towards the ground and then drive it forward. And one thing we think about when we take the foot back, scooping the tailbone under, and we're optimizing the position of the pelvis, which impacts the spine. Okay, use the hands in whatever way you need to create a great movement and support the movement. Just really harness the power and capability of the body. So it's more of a strength and stability exercise. Drive that up. Step it back. Lower. Drive it up. Once more. And then we're going to lower that down. And we're just going to shake the legs off a little bit. Okay, we're going to draw one heel to the bottom. With the key focus on creating release through the front of the thigh. So we think about alignment of the knees. We optimize the position of the rest of the body. And we scoop the tailbone under, so we increase the stretch and release down the front of the leg. I quite like to hold the toes and support the front of the foot with the toes down a little bit, just because get that nice release down through the front of the lower leg as well. Okay, and we switch to the other side. Okay, heel to the bottom. We think about alignment of the knees. Okay, so even if we've not got complete alignment, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's what we work on. Optimize the position of the rest of the body. Scoop the tailbone under so we get that release down the front of the thigh. Amazing. Okay, we relax that down. And we're going to take ourselves down onto the mat. So we're going to move down through a roll down. So we're going to start in that strong standing posture, grounded between the feet. Notice that connection. Remember the tripod of the feet evenly balanced as we move through the roll down. We take the chin to the chest, lengthen through the back of the neck, and we're going to roll down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Okay, if this isn't a great position for your spine, you can place the hands on the legs, support the spine, you give the upper body and the pelvis a little wiggle, and that's just a nice variation. Okay, we're focusing on the hip fold. We're going to place the hands on the elbows and just encourage that hip hinge, okay, that hip fold. So imagine your arms are heavy and they're weighing you down. You get a nice release around the rib cage, the shoulders. You might feel it down the back of the legs as well. If you want to unload that a little bit, just slightly bend through the knees. We breathe. And then we're going to place those hands down, bring ourselves into a seated position. Okay, so we're going to take our legs out into a V. Now, that might look different. Well, it will look different for everyone. Okay, so just work with the movement you've got. Okay, and we're just going to hold that position for a moment. Ground the legs, ground the pelvis. Use the fingertips down on the ground to create length through the spine. Another way to provide extra support is to place your back against a wall when you do this. Okay, so we're going to start super simple. We're going to draw into the center and then we're going to draw out. Okay, so I know that may be more challenging if you're on a carpet or softer surface. Okay, if that's the case, I want you to just focus on one leg at a time, and what you can do then is just create a very gentle lift, so you're offloading the foot and leg on the carpet, and you're off the carpet. Okay, if you can, we're going to double leg, create that V shape, and then draw it back. Okay, you don't want anybody to get carpet burns on their heels, so if you need to do that single leg, do it single leg. Or if you need to modify it in another way, good. As you do this, notice how it feels through the body. Take it out into that V, and just have a think about where do you feel it? Is there anything that feels like it's restricting that movement? Good. So we're going to do one more of those. And then we're going to bend through the knees. And we're going to create a wide stance through the feet so that when we lower the knees over to the side, we're in that staggered position. Okay, so we're going to start super simple and lift over onto the other side. So we're windscreen wiping the legs. The feet stay in that position or that point on the mat. The knees lift up and over. It's okay if the feet move. Okay, if the legs don't flatten down onto the ground, that's okay. I want you to work with what you've got. We don't force a movement. Okay, we want to make this oh, we want to expand on this exercise. Okay. We're going to reach all the way forward with the hand that can touch the back foot. So we reach all the way forward. We bring it up. We rotate round. The hand that can touch the back foot. We reach all the way forward. Lift up and over. Okay, so it's the hand that can touch the back foot. We reach it forward, up and over. We reach it forward and over. Amazing. We're going to do one more on each side. Forward. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got one leg out straight, one foot and leg drawn towards us. Okay, so ideally we want that foot grounded. Okay, and we must really work on maintaining length through the spine in this position. And we're going to just windscreen wiper through the foot. Okay, we're trying to not just move through the foot. Okay, the movement comes, so we're pivoting from the heel. Okay, and what that creates is a rotation through the hip. So it's a deep clean of the hip. A super simple exercise, yeah, but it shouldn't be overlooked. It's really effective at mobilizing through the hip. Really effective. So it might not feel like you do very much at all, but it's a super effective exercise. So the heel remains in the same point, but we pivot from the heel. So we're moving that whole foot from side to side, just like the windscreen wipers. And we get that lovely mobility through the hip. Okay, amazing. From there, this foot lifts up and over. Okay, so the bent knee, grounded foot comes up and over the leg. We're using the opposite hand and arm to scoop that elbow round and to hug the knee towards the armpit. The other hand can come down onto the ground to support us, and we're facing our chest and our abdomen are facing the leg or the inner thigh. And we're just going to hold that. You want a little bit more from this. This underneath leg, we scoop it round and it tucks in towards the bottom, and then we resume that position with the arms. Now if you're doing this, we're trying not to hitch through the seat bones. Seat bones are grounded. If it feels really uncomfortable or painful, take it back to where you were with the leg out straight. Okay, this is just work in progress. Okay. So we're going to untangle ourselves and then switch to the other side. So the other foot comes in, the legs out straight. We support ourselves by hugging that leg towards us, or you can take a hand down behind you. And then we're going to pivot from the heel and we're going to windscreen wiper the foot. So again, in this position, if it feels quite challenging, another thing you can do, as mentioned before, is put your back against a wall. Okay? So then you can really focus on the movement itself rather than having to kind of spend all your time trying to stay upright. And that deep clean of the hip. Every time we move our joints, the body releases its very own version of WD-40, synovial fluid. So that's why movement is so good for us. Okay, so The leg that's bent, foot's grounded, we lift it up and over, so it crosses over the body, and then using the opposite arm, we scoop the arm round. So my left leg is hooked over, my right arm is hooked around the leg, and I'm hooking the knee to the armpit. Place the other hand down to support myself. If you want more from this, you can draw that straight leg, heel to the bottom, round the seat bones, and then resume that position with the arms. Okay, from here we take ourselves into the 4-point kneeling position. Okay, and we're going to cat cow to begin with. So if you need to do this in a standing position, you can. Hands on the knees, and we cat cow. Okay, in a 4-point kneeling position, we're going to draw the belly button up to the sky, tuck the tailbone under, press down through the heels of the hands, lift up to the chest. And then we go the opposite way into the cow, tailbone back, lift through the chest. And the creases of the arms, where the forearms are, where the elbows are, if we can rotate slightly through those shoulders to take them facing forward, we put our shoulders in a lovely position. And take it into the cat. All the way up, up, up. If you're familiar with this, work at your own pace, but don't rush it. And then you take it into the cat. Tailbone back, belly button down, lift through the chest. With those elbows round so the creases are facing forward. We go again, all the way up. Up, 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 up. And then take that all the way down into the cat. We can do one more. Take it down. Settle back to center. We're going to move, again, another exercise, really simple, really effective to work on hip rotation. Also releases through the glutes and piriformis, which can become quite tight. We're going to lift up through one foot, and then we're going to rotate the foot out to the side, and then we draw it back in, and we're going to alternate. So we will take that foot out, and draw it back in. So really nice for release around the pelvis, through the glutes. Fantastic. From here, sit the bottom back into that child's pose position. Arms out in front if you can. If not, modify it to suit you. The knees are an issue, you can lift up to the bottom, rest the head on the hand. If the shoulders are not comfortable there, you can take your arms down by your side, whatever works for you. Whatever feels best right at this moment. And we're going to take an opportunity to really focus on our breathing pattern. And as you breathe in, I want you to think about a nice expansion out through the rib cage. And as you breathe out, we relax the body down into the ground. Amazing. Okay. We bring ourselves back up into a seated position, and we're going to take ourselves into a high kneeling position. We're going to step 1 foot forward, okay, and we're going to take one hand down towards the ground, which is the opposite to the front leg. So the same hand as the back leg is going to come down in front of us, okay? So it's almost in alignment with that front foot, okay? So if you can't do this in a high kneeling position, you can do this standing, and it's going to be the same movement, okay? So I'll show you kneeling first, and I'll show you standing. Okay, so the arm, that's free, not the grounded hand. We're going to take hand to the sky, and we get that nice rotation, okay? We're loading the shoulder. We're asking a bit more of the shoulder. We're also getting a nice opening through the back hip. From here, the hand, the elbow comes down, and we reach the elbow down towards the ground. Okay, so we take the hand to the sky, we rotate, we're facing the front leg, and then the elbow draws down towards the ground. Okay, in a standing position. Okay, we're going to take same hand, so the same hand as the front leg is going to rotate and reach to the sky. Okay, and then we draw the elbow down to the knee. Okay, so we rotate round towards that front leg, we reach to the sky. The elbow comes down to the front knee. Okay. We're going to do one more of those. Hand to the sky. Elbow down towards the ground. And then we bring ourselves up and out of that. Before we switch to the other side, we want to take ourselves into a position where we've got 90-degree angle at the front leg. Okay, nice alignment, knee, hip, shoulder. And then we're going to scoot the tailbone under. Same-sided hand is the front leg. Hand comes onto that front leg. The other arm comes up and out to the side and over into the side bend. So we scoop under. The arm comes up and over into the side bend. Okay, we try and maintain an upright position, so we try not to tip forward. Okay, we're looking at release through the hip, pelvis, lower back, rib cage, shoulder. So wherever you are carrying tension, you will probably, that will be the area you feel that first. Okay, so I know for me, I can feel that stretch, really nice stretch through the lower back. And almost down towards the pelvis. But it feels good. To increase stability, you can press down through the back, lower leg. And we're going to switch to the other side. Okay, so again, if you need to do this in a standing position, you can, staggered stance. If not, we're going to place the opposite hand down to the front leg, or the same as the back leg. Okay, you can see I just make a little adjustment with the knee to get it into a great position. Then the other hand, we're going to reach it to the sky. So we're facing that front leg, reach the hand to the sky, and then we're going to draw the elbow to the ground. Okay. Hand to the sky. When I say we're drawing it to the ground, if you can't get it there, don't worry, okay? It's just that movement we're looking for, that direction that we're going for. And the more you do the exercise, the bigger the range of movement. You reach it to the sky. You glide it down, elbow moves towards the ground. We're going to do that once more. Elbow towards the ground. Okay. So from here, we bring ourselves back up. We step the foot in, so we've got 90 degrees. That front knee, scoop the tailbone under. Okay. Same hand as the front leg comes down. The other arm comes out to the side into the side bend. So as we move into that side bend, we're looking for release through the hip, pelvis, lower back, up into the rib cage and shoulder. So we try not to tip forward, okay, into that side bend. And we usually feel it through that lateral line of the body where we're carrying tension. Okay, so again, for me on this side, I can feel it through the lower back in a nice way, just a really nice stretch. Amazing. From here, we'll take it back down into a seated position. Okay, we're going to take hold of the hamstring and roll back. So we'll lay onto our back, hook the knees to the chest, give them a little wiggle and massage that lower back into the mat. Okay, so we're going to take our arms out to the side now. We're going to ground the feet. I'll give you kind of level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 1, the feet are grounded. We lower the knees to the side. The shoulders remain grounded. Okay, we're gently engaging through the core center. Okay, to draw the knees back up and roll through the pelvis. So a nice energy through the core center. Level 1. Level 2, we draw the knees to the chest. Okay, shoulders grounded. The legs work separately to take ourselves into that rotated position. So the top leg lifts back to center, followed by the bottom leg. Top. One leg comes down, the top leg follows. So you can see that we're adding more of a stability element to this, but you know, we're really able to control that movement. Then level 3, the legs work together. So we're still maintaining that grounding of the shoulders. What you'll probably find here is you do have to really focus on grounding the shoulders and also gently pressing down through the shoulders and arms to draw the knees back to center, and that's okay. As long as you are not gripping on for dear life. Okay, if you are gripping, if you are really gripping through the neck or the shoulders or arms, then you take it back to level 2. And you really get to decide which level you work at. You can continuously shift, it doesn't matter. Okay, so from there, straighten out through the legs, take the arms over the head, and just stretch everything out. Nice big stretch. Gently draw the belly button towards the spine so we can get this really nice release around the rib cage. And you can even use, it's quite nice to have one arm overhead so you're creating that length. but then use the other hand to kind of like draw a line between the rib cage and the abdominals, and you might find there's a little tender area or a little bit where it feels quite tight, and just gently kind of glide the fingers around there. It's nice to do. You can also swap the arms as well. Okay, amazing. From there, we're going to ground the feet. We're going to work through the shoulder bridge, and then we'll add a progression in. So we start super simple, scoop the tailbone under, flatten the lower back to the mat. It's always a good start point at the very beginning of the exercise, just to establish that movement. And then pelvis to the sky, squeeze through the glutes at the top, round the feet, round the shoulders. The feet remain grounded throughout the whole movement. Yes, we try not to lift up. Yep, and roll it all the way back down. So we're mobilizing through the spine. Okay, so we go again. All the way up, squeeze through those glutes to the top, and then we roll it all the way down. So I just want you to continue with that movement, and I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of something extra to do if you wanted to for the next session. I don't have a big book, but if you have a fairly heavyweight book, something you can do with this exercise if you want to make it harder in session, yeah, is to place the book over the tummy. Okay, so you would scoop under and you would lift up, and the hands support the book. Okay, but the body, the glutes have to work that extra bit harder. Yeah, we roll it down. So we scoop under, we lift it up, and we draw it down. Just adds a little different element to the exercise. Okay, all of a sudden we add some extra load. Okay, so the progression with this now is we're going to stagger the feet. So we're going to draw one heel right toward the bottom, and we're going to step one foot out away from us. Okay, now with this, we want to try and keep the pelvis nice and level, so it shouldn't be dipping. Okay, scoop under, lift the pelvis to the sky, squeeze through the glutes at the top, and then we roll it down. Okay, another thing to look out for is the grounding of the feet, yeah? So we scoop under, lift the pelvis to the sky, squeeze through the glutes at the top, and then we roll it back down. Round the feet, squeeze the glutes at the top, and then roll it down. And we're going to do one more. Scoop it under, take it to the sky, roll it back down, and then we switch to the other side. So bottom towards the heel, step the other foot out, ground the feet. We're looking at nice alignment, ankles, knees, hips. Scoop under, pelvis to the sky, squeeze through the glutes at the top, and then we roll it down. Here we go again, scoop under, pelvis to the sky. Really notice how it feels, okay? So the leg that's stepped further away from us, you might feel that you're working the hamstring a little bit more. Okay, it might be that you feel like the heel drawn to the bottom is being loaded a little bit more that side. Just notice these things, yeah? There's no right or wrong. Notice how it feels for you. We're going to do one more. Take it all the way up, up, up. We roll it down. And then again, we're just going to hug the knees to the chest. This time, we're going to take hold of either the lower legs, the ankles, or the feet. We're just encouraging the knees out to the side. If you find you're curled up and that you're unable to ground the head, neck and shoulders and pelvis, then this is the goal. We just work towards it, yeah? Might be useful to put a cushion under your head so it just brings you up slightly. And then we're going to press the feet to the sky. Hold this position. And breathe. Relax that down. Okay, we're going to take ourselves into a nice, comfortable position, wherever that may be. You can move, you can stretch, but the idea now is we're just going to try and disconnect from everything that's going on externally. We're going to take a moment to focus on our breathing pattern and relaxation through the body. And those two things come hand in hand, our breathing pattern and relaxation. So as you breathe in, I want you to think about filling your body with air. And we get a gentle rise through the tummy. So the breath goes all the way down to the pelvis. And then as you breathe out, we're relaxing the body down to the mat. And just allowing ourselves to become that little bit more relaxed. So I want you to work towards establishing a deep, flowing breath. I quite like to place my hands on my tummy as I breathe. Gives my body a nice little bit of feedback when it comes to the breath. And get a gentle rise through the tummy as we breathe in. Gentle fall through the tummy as we breathe out and melt the body down towards the mat. And to really help take the body into a state of calm and restoration, we're going to subtly increase our breath out. So we take a longer breath out than the breath in. Between the breath in and out and the breath out and in, I just want you to place in there a small pause before you start either the breath in or the breath out. Steadying the breath a little bit more. Our fingers wiggle, with our toes wiggle. And we're going to bring ourselves into seated position. The legs out in front, hands down flat behind us. We lift them open through the chest. So nice big breaths. And then we bring ourselves, so we've got a cross-leg position. Ideally, we're going to place the hands on the knees. Lengthen through the spine, ground through the seat bones. We're going to keep it super simple. We're rotating through the neck. We're looking over to one shoulder, looking over to the other. Now this is where maintaining that length through the spine is really important to optimize posture and movement through the neck. Okay, from here, we're just gonna tip, if we can, tip through those hips, and we're just gonna relax the body down towards the ground. Okay, that includes the neck. You can see we're getting a nice rounding through the spine, up through the mid-back, and through the neck. We roll it back up, and we're going to switch the legs round so they're crossed the other way. And then we're going to do exactly the same. So ideally we want to try and get that fold through the hips, and then we're just going to relax the arms down. If the range of movement isn't there, we just place the fingertips down and just relax everything down. Okay. Just notice how it feels through the mid-back, through the neck, also through the lower back and hips. Lift up and out of that. And we are done.